How's it going, everybody? This is Robert Priel from Cigar Manor. I'm here today with Zaya Younan.
Pleasure meeting you.
He is the president, CEO, and founder of Septimo Cigars. And we're here to talk about legacy, history, building empires, and much more in the cigar world. What an incredible place you have here. I mean, this is outstanding, especially seeing the humidor and seeing the process between, how you freeze a lot of your cigars before sending them out. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? I mean, it's really fascinating.
Sure. This is what you basically see here is a humidor. We call it laboratory, right?
Yeah.
There is about 1.5 million cigars in there, and we do all kinds of testing on them, aging, fermentation, curing, and trying to see how we could actually bring the natural taste and aroma of the tobacco leaf out of it, right? Right. And one of the experiments we have done for some time, we've been working on it. If you drink any kind of spirit or wine or any kind of spirit, it has to be certain temperature, especially with the spirit, right? Which is similar to wine because you have to age it and ferment it. Usually you have to drink it a little bit colder, right, in order to get the aroma and taste out. But with the cigar is different. Cigar is the same component of tobacco, wheats, vineyards for the wines, they're family of each other's, right? Yeah. For the tobacco, when you smoke it, you have to combust it, you have to heat it, you have to light it, and it becomes very hot. And when it becomes very hot, a lot of the taste and the flavors actually dies out. Yeah. So we experiment like the cigars you have in your pocket. Absolutely. When you cut it and then you light it, we froze that, we flash froze that. So you probably feel that it's extremely cold, right? So that cigar was, it's very cold. That cigar was flash frozen right before given to you for you to smoke it.
Incredible.
And then when you light it up, you're gonna have an experience of tremendous amount of taste and aroma that typically you don't see because when a cigar gets very hot, a lot of it dies down.
Yes. So I know you said prior that you don't, it's not that interesting to dive into the, specifics, but I would love to know more about the name El Septimo. Where does that come from?
Yeah, the El Septimo is a Spanish name, means the seventh, and it stands for, it took God 7 days to create heaven and earth.
Yes.
And on the 7 days, we're supposed to rest and feel your seventh sense, enjoy life better. So that's where we picked El Septimo, and we try to create product that actually touch and turn on your seventh sense where you can enjoy yourself. Like one of my highlights is during a day is when I light a cigar, smoke a cigar, because it relaxes me, it gives me time to reflect. And so we try to associate that with the creation of heaven and earth, and also creation of happiness and creation people feeling good about what they do and what they have achieved during the week.
That's fantastic. Now, I want to know, where does the design come from? Because it's a beautiful design, and I noticed that it's very prominent. I mean, you have it here. I mean, so how did you come up with the design and to establish your brand?
Yeah. Well, El Septimo is part of the Younan Company. Younan Company is a huge private equity fund, over $8 billion. So we have various organizations and tremendous amount of employees all over the world, especially in Europe. And in Europe, we have a big company that is called MPA Creation. Is a second oldest design agency in France and Paris. And they work very hard. MPA Creation worked very hard to come up with the branding, with the design. Because a cigar not only has to taste good, has to smell good, has to make you feel good. Also, we want to make it look good. The cigar should look beautiful, the band should be beautiful, the box should be beautiful, because it's something we look forward to smoking the cigar. It should be something that makes us feel good. So everything about it has to be luxury. And to be honest with you, cigar industry is 500 years old. The component of luxury was kind of missing in it. Yes. And we're trying to basically create it, put it in there, and create a product that becomes even far more significant in your daily routine that you are used to.
Now, do you ever imagine the journey that it took? I mean, originally fixing bikes, in Tehran, to now building castles and, empires and many different things. Did you ever think that you would get here as a 13-year-old that came to America with only $25?
Obviously you don't, because it's difficult to imagine the world of perfection, especially when you were a little poor kid living in the streets, right? So, but you do know that you're not happy with the state of your life, right? Of course, I was 13 years old. Most of the times, 13 years old, sit down and play Nintendo, right? Yeah. But in my case, it was a survivor thing, right? So I designed and I organized my entire journey from that country to United States. And but I did know that you have to be creative, you have to have a passion, you have to have a desire, and you have to work hard, right? Those are the minimum important points that you have to have if you really want to have a journey for success. When you look at the people like Elon Musk or Jeff for Amazon, these guys didn't get to where they got really fast, right? They had a tremendous amount of desire, passion. Everybody told them whatever they were doing wasn't possible, but somehow they made it possible. And that's the will of human being, right? Human is a very, very strong and capable person. They have a will, right? The question is how you want to turn on your will and how much you want to push your will. But if you do push your will, I think you can get to where you want to be.
Absolutely. So, the night in Berlin in the snow, you know, and you're holding the El Septimo in hand. I mean, describe that moment to a lot of people that don't know what occurred that day.
You know, Robert, I've been smoking cigar for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
Since I was 21, and for 40 years now, 41 years, right? And I always enjoy smoking a cigar, right? Yeah. I even enjoy smoking a cigar more than drinking, right? Yes. Because sometimes when you drink, you know, you feel bad afterwards, and but with smoking, you feel good when you're smoking it, you feel good afterwards, and so forth. So I have tried every kind of cigar in the world, right? From Cuban all the way down to everybody else, right? And I really never was attached to any brand, because I never liked any brand to constantly go buy them. So I would buy whatever I see fit for that day to smoke, right? Yeah. So I always thought of cigar smoking as a good experience, but I never knew the ultimate pleasure of cigar smoking until I grabbed the first El Septimo in my hand in Berlin in the cold weather and smoking it, yes. Right? And I ran out of cigars, so that's the only thing I had. I said, I'm just gonna go out there, light it up, smoke 5 minutes of it, and then walk inside. And I walked out with basically a shirt without a jacket. Yeah. And I was out there for an hour and a half. My hair was almost crystallized from ice and coldness. And because that cigar mesmerized me. El Septimo truly is not like any other cigar, because we don't want it to be like any other cigar. We want it to be classified as a zone, as an ultra luxury, a product that when you smoke it, it completely separates you from everything else that you have touched in the past.
Well, it's interesting because, and shall we smoke right now?
No, absolutely.
A lot of people, they tend to get a lot of the blending wrong, you know, or they don't put much time into it. You're very heavily involved in the process, the fermentation, a lot of stuff like that. So what are people doing that is wrong in today's world, in the cigar world?
Blending is very important in cigars, right? We learned the art of blending when we were making wine. As you know, we are one of the largest winemaker in France. We make 35 different kinds of brands of wine in Bordeaux, Saint-Emilion region, right? And a blending is almost a final process, right? Yeah. But it is the most important process in the entire creation of the cigar. And one technicality here, I'll give you a better lighter. I'll give you El Septimo lighter, okay. See?
Great.
See, perfect, here. Perfect. See, it's lit perfect. Yeah. Now, blending, as I said, is a very important process. We learn about importance of blending when we start making wines, cognac, and many other products, whiskey and gin and so forth. And I think the error that is made in the cigar industry, when they make cigar, the brand blender makes the blend according to his own liking. Yeah. and then he release it, and everybody else has to smoke it. And not everybody have the same taste buds or taste requirement or smell requirement as a blender does. So one of the many difference in our blending is that when we blend a cigar and we think that blend is sufficient enough, we take that blend and we do focus group study with our customers, with people out in the field, man, woman, young, old, in this country, in other countries, and we take an input from them. So our cigar, our final blend, is actually designed by our customers for themselves. And that's the one big difference in the process.
So, how long was it that this process of figuring out, you know, what goes into everything, how long did this take you to finalize, getting it perfect?
Well, in the process of cigar making, right, it starts from the time you pick up the leaf, from the time you cure it, then you ferment it, then you age it, then you blend it, and then you freeze it, and then you take it out to the market, right? And a typical fermentation process for other people is usually 6 to 8 months. We do triple fermentation that it takes 12 months, not 1 or 2 months, 12 months. And we think we need that in order to break down the impurities in the tobacco leaf, because tobacco leaf not only has the actual essential oil of tobacco, also has ammonia and nitrate, right? So ammonia and nitrate are impurities, you want to take them out. So in a fermentation process, when you put them in the room, you heat them, you sweat them, you try to break down those impurities out. And in the aging process, you try to evaporate them without evaporating the essential oil in it. So on the fermentation, it takes usually 1 to 2 months for standard cigar makers. Ours takes 12 months because we do triple fermentation. On the aging, people usually age their cigar 1 to 3 years. We age our cigars 5 to 15 years. And we think that period is really important to not only take the impurity out, but create the best taste, best aroma tobacco leaf before it's blended.
Now, for those that don't know, you've been very involved in real estate, cars, building hotels and empires. What does cigars bring you that those other things don't?
It's funny, cigar is the smallest component of our company, right? Significantly. It's the smallest company compared to any other segment of our companies. And always people in my staff, my vice presidents say, you spend more time dealing with El Septimo stuff than the rest of the organization. And part of it is because I love the product. I truly love the product. I mean, I love smoking cigar. I love smelling them. There is nothing like a perfect cigar, right?
Absolutely.
It's funny, during a day, of course, I look forward to see my wife and my family. But the second component is not I'm looking forward to eat or to drink or watch TV. I'm thinking that I'm gonna have a good smoke with my family. And I'm blessed with 5 children and they all smoke cigars, you know. So I love sitting and smoking cigar with my wife and my kids. It's a beautiful process. It's great to be blessed to have a wife and 5 kids that they all love smoking cigar.
And it's also a great, thing that brings everybody together as well. I mean,
you know, it's funny. Most of my kids don't live in the house. So when they come to the house, just to say hello and goodbye and eat something and leave, right? So it's a 1-hour process. But when we light a cigar, right? When we light a cigar, they sit for hours. We talk, we reflect, and we relax together. So every time my kids come to my house, the first thing I do is light a cigar, stick it in their mouth, because that's the only way I could get them to stay in my house for a couple hours.
Absolutely. Now, what is something about the cigar industry that you think most people that are consumers should know that a lot of people don't know?
Well, you know, as a CEO of a El Septimo brand,
Yes.
there is so much I could say, there is so much I can't say, right? But I've been amazed with the growth of El Septimo, because in the cigar industry, there is almost 2,500 different brands. There are big companies, there are mid-sized companies, and there is a lot of boutique companies that make cigars or have somebody make it for them. They slap their name on it and they sell it in the market. So I always knew that getting into this industry, it would be extremely difficult, that it's going to take many, many, many years for your brand recognition to be in a place that people can really start buying your product and enjoying them, right? Within the 3 years, we have literally grown our company 700% compounded growth year after year. Not over time, year after year. Where all the cigar industry are growing by 3, 4, 5%, we grow by 700 to 800% year over year, which is a huge growth, right?
Incredible.
We are in 55 countries, 1,200 cities around the world, in 15 airports, right? We have gotten rating in the last 12 months on El Septimo more than any singular cigar in the industry, right? And funny thing is, our cigars are the most expensive cigars on average than anybody else, yet we are the fastest growing cigar company in the world.
What I love so much about El Septimo is how up to date everything is. Everything feels new and fresh. What do other cigar brands do that feels stuck in the past?
I think everything that they do, right? And often people say this is a traditional industry, we stick with tradition, and that's great, it's good to stick with tradition. But imagine if we stick to everything into the tradition, we wouldn't be driving car, flying aircraft right now. We still be riding, getting places to places with the horse. So human has to evolve by listening, understanding what technologies are available, what you can improve and improve on it, right? Imagine today with the cell phone, you do everything. You take your picture, you communicate, you compute, all in the cell phone. But if you were sticking in tradition, you wouldn't be able to have that. So I think the company majority didn't evolve in the product development, didn't evolve in the brand development, and what didn't evolve enough into improving a product, right? They produced the same product year over year, they sold it, they were happy with it. Where every time we create a new cigar, we try to obsolete it the following year by creating a better cigar, right? In the last 3 years, we have introduced 38 new cigars. No company in the history of cigar industry has achieved that in that short period of time, right? So we believe in science, we believe in experiment, we believe in obsoleting our own product, and we believe not to be complacent, be happy with what we have. So that's the mentality that we have in all other companies. It could be in our real estate, in software, in hardware, semiconductor, computing, or hotels or anything else, right? So one thing that I can tell you, and everybody should agree with it, the industry hasn't evolved the way it should have evolved, right?
Absolutely.
And that we see as an opportunity for us to fill that space and separate ourselves from everybody else, right? Because we have a product that is unique, it looks unique, it tastes unique, it smells unique, right?
I also think, there's a huge divide right now in the cigar world. It used to be about class and elegance.
It started that way, huh?
It started that way,
Yeah.
and then now it's more, sports and beers and, cigar lounges are, they don't have that same aesthetic as it used to be.
And I think it's okay. Of course, cigar, the funny thing is,
Yeah.
for the period that you talk about when cigar was introduced in America, cigar was only for the rich people because poor people couldn't afford to buy a cigar. Have you ever heard that phrase, close but no cigar? Do you know where that comes from?
No.
From 1918 to 1927, all the fairground in the United States, when you were taking your kids to go to the fairground to play a game, they didn't have a teddy bear to give you, they didn't have chocolate or candy to give you. They used to give you cheap cigars. And the whole concept behind it was that the kid will win a cigar, the parents will take him home, put him to sleep, and share that cigar together. So the phrase "close but no cigar" comes from that period, right? So, but today cigar has become a mainstream where everybody, young, old, everybody in the world are smoking it and enjoying it, and that is okay, right? But what is very difficult is that a lot of cigars that I smoke, I wouldn't call them a cigar. I wouldn't classify them as a cigar, because when you smoke a cigar, if you feel it in your throat, if you start sweating, if it makes you oozy, if it makes you get a headache, or if it makes your jacket smell like terrible ash smell, I don't consider that cigar. I call that hazardous product because it makes you feel bad.
Absolutely.
Why would someone want to pay $10, $20, $30 to feel bad about it? And we try to address those points in El Septimo. And I think that's the reasons people appreciate it. And that's the reasons people like you smoke it once, and it's difficult for you to smoke any other cigar.
Absolutely. Now, what I love so much about El Septimo is that it incorporates emperors, and artists. Now, if you were to take an El Septimo cigar and give it to one historical figure, who would that be and why?
Our inspiration for creation comes from history, because history is what we know, what happened, and how did it happen. But that's an interesting question you asked. If I answer that question, I would say it represents the most known and the most written about human being on the earth that is used in the cigar industry, Queen Sheba, which we introduced a year and a half ago, and today is one of the hottest, fastest, biggest selling cigars in the world. And how I got inspired by doing it, a friend of mine, which is African American, asked me to create a cigar that celebrates the rich history of African people.
Yes.
So for that, I had to go back, research their history. And when I say literally I done that, right? I mean, I was interested now. So I'm reading book and I'm learning about it. And I learned 3,000 years ago, there was a young queen of Africa called Queen Sheba, that she was one of the smartest person of that period, one of the best warrior, one of the richest, and conquered more territory than any other king of that era. Actually, Bible has written about it, Quran has written about it, Torah has written about it. She's, after Mother Mary, she's most mentioned woman figure in Bible. Right? Because she ended up marrying King Solomon and so forth. So I was so fascinated by this woman strength and vision and power that 3,000 years later we're talking about her.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create something extremely powerful about Queen Sheba. And we spent a lot of time and effort, and finally we came up with this cigar that is unbelievable to taste. There is no cigar like it because it's got more transition than any other cigar. And it has a spice that was originated 5,000 years ago. And that was a spice Queen Sheba gave King Solomon to be able to get time alone with him to discuss whatever they discuss.
But notice how you actively got involved. And I think that's what I think a lot of, owners and founders of cigar companies now is that they have a lot of other people get involved in the processing and the...
Absolutely. I think a cigar is a $38 billion industry globally. And 52% of all the world cigars are sold in America alone. So America alone consumes more cigars than entire rest of the world put together. The problem is we have too many people who claim they are cigar maker. There is, as I told you, 2,500 different brands. One day I'm leaving my house, I'm driving down the gate, my landscaping guy follows me. And I said, what does this guy want? I says, Ruben, what do you need? He said, and he doesn't know I'm in a cigar business, he's my landscaper. He said, Mr. Younan, I want to give you a box of my cigar. I said, oh, so you're a cigar maker? He says, yes, I'm very happy I'm a cigar maker, right? So that's the problem. There are too many brands, there are too many boutique brands, and the problem with that is because it's easy to buy someone else's cigar, slap your ban on it, and sell it to the market. But when you do it, you are detached from the product. When you detach from the product, you don't know what is happening with the product. And then you sell that product, you make a representation, you sell that product to the people. And people take that product and they get disappointed. That's the problem with this industry. Too many cigar makers, everybody's cigar expert. I seldom talk about cigar to people because everybody have their own opinion and it's difficult to change it. So we try to stop the conversation, minimize the conversation, get to conclusion as fast as we can by creating a cigar that when you put it in your mouth, you draw on it, you enjoy so much of it that frankly, you can base your own conclusion of what that cigar is.
Absolutely. Now, I like what you said about that, you know, because I think there is a lot of people that just slap their name on something, but they don't actually know what goes into it.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people talk about having, it takes 200 hands, 300 hands, 400 hands to get just one cigar,
Yeah.
you know? And I think,
Actually, that's wrong. People
Really?
say that, but they don't know what the hell they're saying. And the reason I know that, because one day I start counting the goddamn hands. I count the goddamn hands that goes into from the time you pick the leaf to the time it goes out there. It doesn't go that fast. Ours does.
yes,
Ours does, because we keep the tobacco for too long of a period. So you have to flip it, you have to touch it, you have to move it, you have to test it, right? But the rest of the brands that don't ferment as long as we do, don't age as long as we do, is totally incorrect, 200 hands, because I went in the field and I count the damn hands. It's totally incorrect, yeah. But you're right, it's mentioned all the time, yes.
yes. Now, for someone who's never had an El Septimo cigar, you know, someone you just met, what is a cigar from your line that you would present to them? What is the one?
Very good question. One question comes to be able to understand that is, you know, what kind of strength of the cigar someone can smoke, right? If you are a experienced cigar smoker, you want something with more flavor, with more strength, which is based on amount of the nicotine oil in it, right? And if you are a fairly new cigar smoker, you might want something like. But the strength of the cigar is not to the harshness or not. Some people smoke cigar and it's terrible. They feel it down the throat. They start passing out from overheating. And they say, oh my God, this cigar is too strong. No, that cigar is not too strong. That cigar is too bad. And you should have never smoked in it. Like this particular cigar I'm smoking, El Septimo Bomba Orange, right? This cigar is 15 years age, right? And is one of the, it's got the most powerful leaf in it. It's got the most amount of nicotine oil and milligram in it. But it's such a smooth and enjoyable to smoke it. For me, experienced smoker, or if I give it to my son or my daughter who are very young and they don't smoke as much as I have smoked. Why? Because it's blended together. So anybody can pick any El Septimo cigars we have. We have 56 different cigars, different blends. Anyone can smoke any one of them. It will never overwhelm them because they're blended so well together, right? The harshness comes mainly by incorrect blending, high level of ammonia, and high level of nitrate in the tobacco. That means you didn't ferment it long enough, you didn't age it enough, and then the ammonia and nitrate stay in the tobacco leaf. When you draw on it and you feel it in your throat, that comes from ammonia, excessive amount of ammonia in the leaf.
Well, it's so fascinating because, you know, a lot of people's first experiences are always like, you know, they get overheated or dizzy. I mean, a lot of times, I mean, they don't even know what they're picking up.
Dizzy is caused by nitrate.
Yeah.
Nitrate by itself is a impurities you like to remove, but when you combust a cigar with light, you introduce it to oxygen, so it becomes nitrogen dioxide, NO2, right? And that NO2 makes you oozy, makes you sweaty, and makes you like dizzy. And when you smoke a cigar that gives you that feeling, immediately put it down. Actually, do me a favor, return that damn cigar to the owner and get your money back. Because that's not a cigar you should be smoking. That's the cigar should have never gone in the little box, should have never gone to the cigar lounge.
Now, that's very true you said that. You know, what I love so much about smoking cigars is the fact that you're able to sit and reflect and talk with your friends and people you just meet. So, with that being said, what is a conversation that you've had with a cigar that was the most important to you?
Yeah.
That you shared?
Yeah. Let me give you a scientific aspect of it. Why do you sit down and relax? Do you know why you relax when you smoke a cigar? I mean, you know you relax, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Of course, yeah.
Every time. But why is it that you relax?
Aromatics or nicotine, I mean, I don't know.
Part of it is right. It's not aromatic, so if somebody put a special perfume on, it makes you relax. No. I tell you what it is. It's a nicotine.
Yes.
Nicotine, if you Google it, is diuretic, right? So the nicotine compound, when you smoke it, it goes to your bloodstream. Because the diuretic, it dilates your organs. And also it dilates your artery. When it dilates your artery, the blood flow and oxygen flow throughout your body increase, sometimes depending on the age, weight, amount of cigar smoke, by 50%. So often when you have tension and stress, right?
Yeah.
There is a lack of blood flow that creates an inflammation. Either it's a muscular inflammation or bone structural inflammation. And when you get those inflammation, you get a headache. When you get those inflammation, you get stress. You get your muscles start hurting, right? And when you smoke a cigar, it dilates your artery, more blood and oxygen flows to your organ, and basically inflammation goes away. When inflammation goes away, the stress goes away.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's a great thing to know. I mean, I find so much peace whenever I get to smoke, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you find peace because when you have no inflammation, you have no stress, you can think clearly.
Absolutely.
And when you can think clearly, you have energy to talk, you have energy to reflect, you have energy to have a conversation with someone. It's funny, I have a lot of friends. Often if you meet them in a normal dinners or something, they barely talk to people. They're older guys, so they barely talk to people, right? Stick a cigar in their hand. They are chatterbox. They be talking for hours. Why? Because they relax. It energizes them, right? Inflammation goes away. They feel comfortable putting an effort in having a conversation. I'm telling you, cigar smoking is unbelievable. I mean, it's something that I will smoke it to the last day. Matter of fact, right before my death, I said, stick a cigar in my mouth. Because I understand, I'm a scientist. I understand all of the improvement into the cigar, into the nicotine. You know, since you were 2 years old, you were consuming nicotine. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah. Were you eating tomato? Were you eating French fries? Were you eating potato, eggplant, cauliflower? If you Google them, they all have traces of nicotine in them.
Wow.
Because millions of years ago, it was one plant called nightshade.
Yes.
And over a million years, that plant evolves into nicotina plant, tomato plant, eggplant, cauliflower, and green pepper, right?
Yeah.
And all of them, an average size of tomato of this size has 7.2 milligram of nicotine in it. An average potato size has 11 milligram of nicotine on it.
I had no idea.
So nicotine is a nutrition that is, there's 9 billion people in the world. It's essentially in every bloodstream of human being because of the fruits and vegetables we eat that also have nicotine in it.
And yet they ban cigars.
Well, it's funny, you know, government officials ban cigars and then they legalize marijuana and so forth. So go figure that out. But none of us have ever accused politicians of being smart. So that's another subject for another time. But at the end of the day, no politician, no government can ban cigar. They've been trying to ban it over 100 years. And actually, there is an increase in cigar smoking by compounded rate of 12% globally, all over the world. So the use of cigar smoking is going on. I see young people smoke cigar, 20-some years old and so forth, smoking cigar, that you will never see it typically into the market.
You know, it's interesting because I think there's so much to, there's such a hassle, especially with social media, when posting cigars. I know a lot of influencers out there that are struggling to post something because Instagram and TikTok and all these big platforms are refusing to let cigars be seen. I mean, do you have any idea why that is? I mean, it's just...
Well, I think is that, you know, we don't want to get into the politics of it, obviously, is people who have nothing else to do. Funny thing is with social media, with Meta, Instagram and Facebook, I saw an image the other day while Zuckerberg was in his Hawaii, he's building a house in Hawaii with his wife. He had a cigar in his mouth. And you're right, they tried to ban it on Instagram. So, but at the end of the day, this is a free world, we are a free country, and we're gonna smoke whatever you wanna smoke, whenever you wanna smoke it. And I dare any politician's gonna stop us doing it. So I'm not concerned about that at all. Matter of fact, there is a lack of education in the cigar industry that if you go to a politician, you say, why shouldn't I not smoke cigar? They say, it's addictive. Incorrect. Natural nicotine is not addictive. Cigarette is addictive because it's not a natural nicotine. It's got a lot of additives in it.
And chemicals.
There's chemicals in it. I smoke 6 to 8 cigars a day. I could go without smoking a cigar for a week if I want to, right? So it's not addictive. Then they say smoking a cigar is bad for you. Then we should not eat pizza or pasta or French fries or salad, because in all those components there is natural nicotine in it. Now, they could come tell you, yes, but amount of nicotine is very little, right?
Yes.
And always I say, have you measured it? Have you measured how much nicotine is in pizza? Right? So we don't listen to politicians because they're not the smartest tool in the shed, right?
Yeah.
So we listen to ourselves and we do whatever we want to do as a human being. And every human should be doing that. And in some places we live in, like state of California, which we live in right now, the politicians try to think for you, right? So if you're weak, you're not strong, you go buy it, right? But if you're a strong person, you say, fuck off, I'll do what I want to do because I enjoy it. Simple as that.
And that's how it should be.
And that's how it should be. But having said that, natural nicotine from cigar is not addictive, and natural nicotine in a cigar is identical in compound rate to the nicotine you find in a lot of healthy vegetables that we often encourage our kids to eat.
That's incredible. I think there needs to come a time in the near future where people can have more freedom smoking cigars. I mean, cigarettes are normalized. I mean, in every movie ever, someone's smoking a cigarette or in a commercial and nothing happens. But cigars are still going through this ban and a lot of things that are happening.
Well, that's why when you want to eat a good dinner or food, or when you want to stay in a nice hotel, you go to my hotels. Because in all my hotels globally, you can smoke in your room, in the lobby, and if you don't like smoking, go book yourself someplace else. So, but the market is changing because you see a lot of new cigar launches coming out, right? The biggest expansion rate that we have ever seen. You know, last year there were about 4,000 cigar launches. This year, by the end of the year, we'll have 6,000, right? So now you can go to beautiful cigar lounges. You can smoke a cigar, have a drink, enjoy yourself. It's a beautiful setting. So thank God for cigar lounges in America because they're beautiful, they're a nice place to go. I go to them all the time with my wife, with my kids, and we're having a great time. And some of them also serve food, so you basically get all your needs met in one location.
What I love so much about how I got introduced to El Septimo was the Hollywood Lounge. And it was the first place where I felt comfortable, you know, there. A lot of times, you know, it's crowded, there's a lot of people there,
right.
the sports center is on, it's blasting, you know, full volume. What I loved about El Septimo is the sense of elegance, class, openness, you know? And so how do you incorporate that into your lounge space? I mean, is it something you strive for to bring?
Yeah, we design our lounges differently. For example, you find minimum distraction in our lounges. You find minimum TVs, right? Yes. We have a one TV someplace in a separate room. If you want to watch a sport or something, you can go in there and watch it. Because when people go there, some people want to have a conversation with their friend, some people want to have a conversation with their wife. You don't want the place to be too noisy, people screaming and people shouting. So for that same reasons, right? So we use a different design into our lounges. We pay a lot of attention on air circulation and air cleaning process. We pay a lot of attention on the furniture. We pay a lot of attention in human interaction, trying to basically create an environment that human wants to interact rather than human wants to go sit in a corner and be by himself.
I mean, I think there's so much attention to detail with, you know, walking into a place like that and feeling immediately comfortable. Because a lot of places, you know, they slap a few leather chairs down and call it a cigar lounge. Yeah. But there brings a lot of elegance to it when you come to El Septimo.
Well, now the biggest segment of the cigar lounge growth is in the luxury cigar lounges.
Yes.
Cigar lounges like Ambassador in Phoenix, Corona in Florida, Davides, right? Where they have done an unbelievable job creating cigar lounge that the hospitality and service it as highest rank that you will ever find. Right? They can give you quality food, quality drinks, quality smoking experience. So I'm glad that people are focusing. Red phone booth is another example, right? Because a speakeasy concept, unbelievable. You can go inside with your wife, with your girlfriend, with your friend, have a tremendous drink, tremendous food, and tremendous cigar, right? So it's evolving. It's not evolving fast enough for a young person like you to open any door and feel comfortable with what you want to do, but it's going to get there over the time.
Absolutely. Now, back to your journey, right? You obviously came a long way. Now, for a lot of people like, myself or other people out there that are starting a line or starting business in any regards, was there ever a time where you wanted to quit?
No.
Actually, tunnel
tunnel
vision.
Every time that I felt I want to be quit,
Yeah.
I worked harder. I slept less. I extended my working hours because I felt when I feel tired that I want to quit is a weakness in my character that wants the easy way out. And I try to make sure I never have that weakness in character. A human should not quit. What does quitting means? You're doing something, you're not satisfied with the journey, and you want to change it. So you wasted all that time that you walk half the journey. So my concept is don't turn around, walk that distance half back. Find a way to energize yourself, walk the remaining distance and get to your goal. So quitting is something that I never had. Matter of fact, every time there is an issue and problem, I become far more focused, far more aggressive.
Do you think many people today have that energy anymore? I mean, I feel like when I look at the other generations that are older than me, there was a strive for greatness that a lot of people now kind of feel more lackadaisical, more comfortable. I mean, do you think this new generation of people have that same strive as you did?
Oh, sure. I mean, I have a podcast with George Jenko. He asked me this question, and I said, the world has changed significantly compared to what it was before.
Yeah.
America has changed completely compared to what it was 40, 50 years ago. And there is a lot of influence by woke mentality. There is a lot of influence by entitlement. Yeah. There is a lot of influence on dependency, right? And I personally find these weaknesses in the character, and I make sure that I don't have those. And I strongly recommend that other people do the same thing. Look, we all gonna live in this world once, just once. It's a one-way ticket, right?
Yes.
So do you wanna live doing all you can, experience as much as you wanna experience, or do you wanna sit down in your home, be a keyboard warrior, badmouth everybody, say negative things to everybody, and go no place, and be bitter, and at the end, you lost your time living your life.
I agree. A lot of that anger and resentment that people have at home could be applied towards achieving something of their own instead of shooting down others that are doing
exactly.
What they
Tremendous amount of energy. You just have to redirect it, use it into some place, right? And I think you're right that much has changed, but I hope that people to listening to this conversation and others discover the happy way of living and live happily.
Yeah.
I mean, if human wakes up, you presume every human gets up, right? He wants to be happy. Do you assume that?
I would assume that, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Every human gets up, he says, I want to live this day good, right? So if that's the case, right? If that's the case, right? You have to be willing to do everything in your power to make that happen.
It's the truth.
If there is no action, there is no reaction, right?
Yeah.
If you do everything same as you did before and you expect to have a different life, you are a fool. Every morning I get up at my age, 62, I try to be better than yesterday. I sleep less at the age of 62 than I did when I was 40. I work harder now than I worked when I was 40. because I know my life is coming toward the end. I don't want to sleep. I want to work. I want to travel. I want to achieve things. I want to be best of everything I do, so people remember me. I want my legacy to live forever, not to die with me.
And I feel a lot of people, at least that I know, don't have that same strive as
No, of course they don't. Of course they don't, because they want the easy way out.
Yes.
You know, they want the easy way out.
instant access.
Exactly. They want the easy way out. And that's fine. They are going to be suffering. They are going to miss their opportunity to live a good life.
Absolutely.
Right? So much you can do to teach them, to show them a good way. But if still they don't want to listen, it's up to them. So I try to get up and manage my own activity based on my own requirement and what I want to be in the life. And frankly, if you know how difficult it is. El Septimo came to the market 4 years ago. Is one of the most known global luxury cigar brand in the world. It's impossible to achieve that. Impossible. There's some company in it for 100 years and nobody knows what kind of cigars they make.
Yeah.
And not only we did that based on creating good product, interesting product, beautiful product, good experience product, but by tenacity, aggressiveness, by overworking, not being happy with what he achieved. Some people say, why are you introducing so many cigars every year? I said, because before I die, I want to create a world's most perfect cigar. In order to do that, you have to evolve yourself and do everything better today than yesterday and better tomorrow than today.
That's beautifully said. And I think that, you know, the way I look at the world and the way I want to achieve, you know, what's in my destiny and my future is that I want to kick the door in. I want to be aggressive in my field and be the best that I can be.
Oh, you have to. When I was your age, when up to age of 40, I've never had a vacation. I used to be CEO of a big company, work all the time, 7 days a week. I never had a vacation, right? Because I wanted early on create a good life for myself and my family, right? And frankly, to me, the work was vacation. You know, I don't mind overworking. I enjoy working because I enjoy accomplishment.
Yeah.
I enjoy accomplishment.
That is your vacation.
That is my vacation,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes to challenge myself, I said I have to issue a patent at the age of 62. So what am I going to do? To issue a patent is a very complicated process. You have to design something that doesn't exist in the world. And you have to prove to the committee that is a useful product. Otherwise, they won't grant you the patent, right? So I always challenge myself, and I strongly recommend my own family, my own children to challenge themselves. And I strongly tell your audience to challenge themselves, right? So that is very important part of the living. And smoking a good cigar is a very important part of it, right? But smoke the best cigar, right? And I saw one day in Oklahoma, a guy pulled in with I was doing an event and this cigar lounge. A guy pulled in, I swear maybe it was a $700 car. And he walked in, he said, Mr. Younan, I want you to pick me the best El Septimo there is. And I felt bad because El Septimo, we have cigar $125 a stick, which are great cigar. And I said, I tell you what, you pick any El Septimo you want, I'll give you the best free. He says, no, it's my birthday today, and I want to smoke the best, and I want to pay for it. Because I live once. I couldn't believe that. What a spirit this guy has.
What a mentality.
What a mentality this guy has, right? So that's the very similar that technically everybody should live, you know? Sometimes people say, make $10, $12 cigar. I said it's impossible to make a good cigar at $10 and $12, right? When you buy tobacco, when you create tobacco that costs anywhere from $150 to $250 per kilogram, it's impossible to create a premium cigar, full leaf cigars at those prices, right? So you have to pay a little bit more if you want a better quality product that truly makes you feel good. If you notice with El Septimo cigar, when you smell, the bad smell doesn't stick to your clothes, to your hair, it's because there is a technology in there that doesn't do that. So you could smoke cigar all day long You go home, your own wife, your own family members would not recognize you smoke a cigar or not.
I mean, I really appreciate the quality behind it because, you know, I think you get what you pay for. It's not like, you know, you go to the store and you get a $12 stick. You're getting, you know, a $5 stick, you know what I mean? But here, with El Septimo, it's quality over quantity, or both, I mean, to be honest.
It was a value.
It's value.
I mean,
yeah.
quality is subjective, right?
Yeah.
But it's a value in there. And the value in there that you're smoking the best tobacco in the world, fermented longer than anything else, and you're smoking a cigar that has no ammonia or no nitrate in it, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, nitrate dioxide could be very dangerous for you. So you have to be very careful with what you choose. And it's funny, people go to the bar, order a cocktail, $20, $18 cocktail, and half of it is ice, and they basically drink it in 5 minutes. And they wouldn't pay a $20 for a cigar that is in their hand for hour and a half interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think something that it took a lot for me, many years for me to kind of acquire, was how to savor a cigar as opposed to just, I used to just go through cigars, cigar, cigar, cigar. Now it's about savoring. And much like what you just said about going to the bar and getting a drink, a lot of people that are connoisseurs when it comes to whiskey and bourbon and wine, for example, you have a beautiful wine collection. There's people that really care about the passion and what goes into it as opposed to just slugging it down.
Well, let me tell you something else, which is between the line of your question you asked. I know that wasn't your intention to ask. I've been making liquor for 40 years, right?
Yeah.
So I've been making liquor, wine, spirits for a long period of time, right? I know much about farming and I know much about tasting, right? I always get puzzled when someone smokes a cigar and said, I get walnut, chocolate, leathery, vanilla, pineapple, right? I always get amazed by it, right? Because when they talk like that, which in many cases is a nonsense, is their perception of what they're feeling, but doesn't mean you will smoke the cigar, you will feel the same thing. And I see people sitting next to them, not enjoying a cigar and trying to analyze if they can taste the walnut, the leather, the pineapple, the watermelon, the strawberry, and chocolate. And I said, don't worry about that. Don't think about that. Take a cigar, light it, smoke it. If you enjoy it, if it makes you feel good, you like it, you don't need to psychoanalyze the flavor breakdown in your mouth. You're spending too much thinking about it versus spending the time enjoying it, right? Same thing with the liquor, where someone comes in, he says, and I'm expert in the whiskey, our whiskey is gonna come out in the next 3 months, where somebody says, this is the best whiskey in the world. Maybe for you, right? But not for me, because I have a different taste buds, I have a different requirement. So I always tell people, don't listen to these ratings, these clerics. It's just, a lot of it is truly a bullshit, right? Take the product, enjoy it. You don't like it, don't smoke it again. Smoke something else. And keep going until you find something you like. And stick to your own requirement. Some people rate cigars. I talk to these people about cigars. 90% of them don't know what the hell they're talking about cigar. I should know about cigar because I make this damn thing. From the time it's a seed. From the time it's a damn seed. Right? And these people rate him 95, 98, 99. Best cigar of the year. Well, you moron. Have you smoked every single cigar in the world? How could you come up with the best cigar in the year? If someone should smoke best cigar in the world, if we have smoked every damn cigar in the world.
A lot of people pay for that position too.
I would never do it. I never care of course I care what my customer think about my product, right? But if somebody comes to me and say, could you try this whiskey? Could you try this cigar, see if you like it? I said, I'm gonna try it. And I'm gonna tell you what I like about it. But that's irrelevant. You smoke it, you drink it, you tell me if you like it. You're the one enjoying it, not me. What about if I rate a cigar 98? But whoever smokes a cigar says it's terrible. What does that rating mean? It means nothing.
Subjective.
Exactly. So subjective or manipulated by politics and bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. So I strongly recommend people do not pay attention on cigar or liquor rating they read in the magazines. Hear it from the guy who's a scientist with 2,000 patents. Do not listen to that bullshit. Do not drink that Kool-Aid. Go grab the product, smoke it. If you enjoy it, smoke more of it. If you don't, change it.
You said about the patents. How many patents before you in the cigar world were there?
Not that I know of, not the design patent, of course. We created first patent because we learned that sometimes a tip of the cigar could reach 800 degrees. I mean, you could burn things significantly with it, right? So we said, how could you taste a cigar properly if it gets to that temperature level, right? So, and we also know in order to open up the flavor, in order to open up the aroma, you have to vary the temperature slightly to the coldest. That's why when you drink a whiskey or when you drink a liquor, you put just a little bit drop of cold water, a little bit small piece of ice in it to open it up.
Absolutely.
Right? So I said, how come this doesn't apply to cigar? So we took some cigars, we flash froze them. You know what flash frozen means? Means there is a refrigeration system that as soon as you put the cigar in, within 10 seconds, it freezes everything. Now you want that because there is a moisture in the cigar from the humidity. You want to freeze it so you crystallize them. If you cool it slowly, you will evaporate the moisture, it will damage the cigar. So when we flash frozen it, I gave the cigar to the people and they were screaming. They said, I've been smoking this cigar for a year. I never tasted so good because the temperature of it was low. The cigar you smoking, it was frozen, it was flash frozen. Yes. It was flash frozen, so when I gave it to you, it was like a cold ice, right?
Yes.
And how does it taste?
Fantastic.
Yeah. So because the temperature is cooler, when the temperature is cooler, you see in an average cigar, there is about a good cigar, premium cigar, 200 to 300 notes of taste, 50 to 60 notes of aroma.
Yes.
Heat kills 50% of it. This is why I invented it, refrigerated ashtray, which will come to the market end of this year. So when it's a typical ashtray, you don't see anything to it. You don't need to plug it, you don't need to battery it, nothing. There's an invention in there, what I did. And when you rest your cigar on an ashtray, it suddenly cools your cigar. So when you pick it up, you draw on it, suddenly the taste blows up in your mouth. And again, when you rest it on it, it draws all the heats out, right? So flash testing a cigar, I showed it to some of my friends. They call me every day. They say, oh my God, this cigar tastes 1,000 times better. So that was something that El Septimo invented it to our laboratory.
Well, I loved how you explained how a lot of the taste notes and everything is eradicated, and gone by the time it's lit. I mean, it's very interesting because it's by flash freezing it, I didn't realize that it preserves the flavor so much.
You have to flash freeze it.
Yeah.
We tested in our factory where we make whiskey. We tested a whiskey in various temperature. At the room temperature, slightly colder, and we just got it colder. It was amazing. The same whiskey in a different glass with the various temperature, how much the taste, how much the liquid opened up. It was amazing.
Yeah, because you always think about a drink like my favorite is old fashioned, and just how a little bit of ice, how you have to let it rest, and then finally it opens up and you get that beautiful flavor.
Yeah, I mean the most expensive cognac in the world, the most expensive whiskey in the world. When we drink it, we always put one or two drop of cold water in it, and we taste it before we do that, and we taste it after we do it. The taste completely changes. Completely changes.
So I mean, what a great process to incorporate it.
Well, if you go to the top restaurants in the world, they'll never give you a whiskey or cognac at room temperature. Even if you ask for it, they won't do it. They say, no, sir, that's not how we serve this, right? Yeah. They teach you, right? But of course you have some people say, oh, bullshit, I like it warm. So go ahead, heat up your whiskey and drink it like a hot tea, right? Whatever floats your boat, right? But the true way of doing it is exactly the way I explained it.
Now, what is the biggest cigar sin that a lot of people do when they're, in the presence of other cigar aficionados, such as yourself?
Yeah.
What's a cigar sin?
I think a biggest sin is when you claim you know everything about the cigar, right? I mean, Sometimes I see if somebody does a round cut or V cut, the other guy say, oh, that's not how you cut it. Sometimes when someone lights it, they say, oh, that's not how you light it. Well, who the hell died made you a professor in this place, right? It doesn't mean because you smoke cigar for a year and you read a couple articles and you're suddenly an expert. Each person has his own unique expertise because their palate and their taste is different. So I always, when I smoke a cigar, I tell the guys sitting around me, my workers, I said, shut your mouth, don't comment about cigar. Just smoke and enjoy it. I don't want to hear your perception about the cigar, what you think, how you feel. Don't make fun of someone if he doesn't know how to light it. You know, some people like to light it with the soft flame. Some people like to light it with the torch. Some people like to light it with the matches. Right?
Yeah.
If someone believes lighting it with the match is a bad way, all power to you. Go enjoy it that way, and it's nobody's business. So there is too much opinion. Every time we post something, we got all these keyboard warriors that have always to say something negative. And 99.9% of the time, they're completely wrong. Right?
Yeah.
And that takes the enjoyment of smoking a cigar next to someone. So that's the biggest sin. I think people should just not psychoanalyze a cigar, light it, smoke it, and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right? When people try to break down the flavor and come up with the leather, strawberry, walnut, blueberry, I look at that, I says, oh my God, how fucked up this world is. Where did this come from?
And it takes away from actually enjoying it.
Because if you're smoking it, and if you don't get those tastes, if you don't get strawberry in your mouth, you think there is something wrong with you. And you say, well, maybe I better not smoke the cigar because I couldn't taste the strawberry, walnut, leather in it, right? And that is, I think, a big sin in this industry. So I think people need to chill down, cool on, smoke the cigar, enjoy it, and keep your opinion to yourself. Obviously, because every person has a different perspective of experience smoking a cigar.
What was the most expensive cigar you ever smoked, and was it worth it?
The most expensive cigar outside of the El Septimo is a Cuban debunked, right? And was it worth it? Yes, because the original one, not the new one, right? They were made a special way with a lot of tradition and expertise in precision farming. They were taking their time fermenting them, aging them, and it was a very sophisticated, complex cigar where the notes were there, but you couldn't reference them to anything you know.
Yeah.
So it was like a puzzle game, smoking a puzzle game. Exactly, right? And El Septimo, of course, we have cigars from $12 all the way to $150. And if you smoke the $12 cigar, you will find that is a premium cigar, full leaf cigar, fermented for 5 years, fermented for a year, aged for 5 years, is a perfect cigar you smoke, and yet you pay only $12 for it.
That's fascinating. And now, when it comes to your own line, if the house was burning and you could only take one from your line, what would it be and why?
I will take the 20th anniversary cigar.
Oh yeah.
It took me 3 years to make it. 12,000 people around the world tasted this cigar before we actually rolled it and we released it for production. I think it's the most perfect cigar because it's the most well-made cigar, complex in the taste. The best tobacco in the world was used in it, fermented for a long time. And we use a special equipment that we use for chemical industry, which we are big in chemical industry. We were able to, with instrument, measure all the impurities are out of the tobacco before we stop aging it.
Oh, wow.
We use equipment technology
Yeah.
to do that. So it is the most complicated, it is the most perfect cigar in the world, the El Septimo 20th anniversary.
So that's the one you saved.
That's the one I said. Too bad we have a limited quantity. We have only 10,000 released. So, but it is unbelievable cigar that I think everybody should try.
Have you ever had any crazy requests in any of the cigar lounges that you've had or hotels around the world?
You know, cigar industry outside of United States is a very old industry.
Yeah.
So if you go to France, Germany, Belgium, the smokers there have been smoking cigar for a long time. In America, it's kind of new, but it's growing fast, right? So you hear a lot of those crazy comments in this America, right? Like, for example, let's put some flavor into cigar, right? Let's you know, which is the worst thing you can do because that takes away from the oud, which is the most important ingredient of the nicotine oil into the leaf, right? So we listen to them, that's their opinion, and I always tell them they should go smoke hookah.
Yeah.
They can have plenty of strawberries in it,
Or
right?
vape.
Or vapes, right? So, but in the cigar, you keep the traditional specification, but you use a modern technology to enhance the traditional specification. And that's the secret in El Septimo Cigars.
Absolutely. Now, what is a cigar hot take that you think people need to know, the other companies need to know, that isn't really said? You know, something that needs to be a little controversial, I would say, on critiquing other brands.
Look,
What are they doing wrong?
look, as a CEO of the brand of El Septimo, it's not my place to say what other people do right or wrong, right? But one thing I do say, as a customer and consumer of cigars, I wish other people spend more time and give more attention in the process of making a cigar than they currently do. Because I smoke a lot of cigars and I cannot go 2 minutes into it. I feel it in my throat, my body temperature start going up, I start sweating, I start getting a headache. So you pay to abuse yourself. So I think that is the biggest defect in the industry. And I think that's the reason when somebody smokes El Septimo, it's difficult for them to go back to something else. And that's the reason we're growing so fast. Attention to detail, attention to blending, attention to picking up every leaf, hand pick every leaf before you start rolling it.
And there's passion there. I mean, I think it's good how passionate El Septimo is when it comes to watching every step that goes into it, watching the process that goes into it. Because a lot of brands, like you said before, they slap a band on it and call it their own, or they hire other people to deal with it and figure it out.
There's too many of those in the market.
Absolutely.
Today, there is about 2,500 different brands of cigar, and frankly, there should be no more than 20 or 30 different brands of cigar in the world. And a lot of these people go bankrupt. You'd be surprised how many calls I get a day. People saying, Mr. Younan, I need your help. I've been making cigar for the past 10 years. I've been losing money. I need your help. Yeah, I said, you're too late to be helped. I should have helped you day after you started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I would have told you, don't do this. This is not a hobby. If you want to make this as a hobby, you will never be successful. This is a profession, consumer product, craft
Yeah.
that whoever makes it needs to have. We've been in business for 4 or 5 years and we're selling a lot of El Septimo cigars. To this day, we're not profitable. Something nobody knows, the first time I'm saying it. And the reason it is, we invest so much in R&D, research and development, and making sure our cigars are made to the most perfect way that people enjoy.
Absolutely. Now, I think that's a really good take on it as well, because I just think, like you said, the fact that someone has to call and ask you for advice, I mean, it's because you know all the layers that go into it, all the steps. And a lot of the newcomers, you know, they just want to get into the game. You know, they love it a lot, but they don't understand the whole process and how much it takes.
It's a game that is going to end up very bad for them. They're going to lose all their investment, all the money, and they'll never be successful, to be honest with you. I don't want to discourage people, but I'm trying to actually help the people, not to burn their money.
Absolutely.
You know? Is as worse than going to Las Vegas gambling your money, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a very competitive business, right? The big guys in the industry have a name, and they use their strength to prohibit other people get into the market. With us, they did it with us, but we are, as a company, we are bigger than Davidoff, Padron, Fonte, put together. So who's gonna stop us? As long as we make the best product in the world, no one in the world will stop us to get El Septimo cigar in every human in the world that wants to enjoy it. Nobody. Not retailers, not cigar makers, nobody.
Also, how many years it took for some people to establish their presence.
Let me tell you something else, Robert.
Yeah.
Making a single cigar, in many ways, is harder than making a bottle of wine. I know because I make both of them. In the wine, once you make it, you put it in a bottle, you cork it, you're finished. Your job is finished. In a cigar, you have to monitor it up to the minute someone lights it. Because it could change. So you have to make sure it's like a little baby. It's in perfect condition, perfect humidity, perfect temperature. Once a month, we shock our cigar. Instead of keeping them humid at 70 degrees, we drop the furnace temperature to completely low, and we shut the humidity. We jolt them so they can wake up again. We do it for 2 days, and then we turn them back again
revive them.
revive them again.
Yeah.
Because we want the tobacco to constantly live, to constantly breathe, up to the time you put the lighter next to it.
Absolutely. I mean, but that really brings out so much quality in the cigar, because a lot of people, they just let it sit, or they vacuum seal it, but I don't think that really does it justice in a sense. I think the freezing is brilliant.
Yeah.
In its own way.
Yeah, but a cigar has to be in a certain perfect shape before you flash freeze it, right? And I don't say to a lot of people, go fill up your refrigerator with a cigar, because there is obviously a method and technique to it.
Yep. Okay. That's really interesting, and I think you're right. I mean, I think it's really incredible that people lose touch of what it takes to hold on to a cigar's quality for so long, and I think that's what's so fascinating about. Are you guys the only people to do it? I mean, in terms of
I mean, you should know, you smoke cigar yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, one of your first interviews, so obviously there was a reason you made me as one of you. You didn't go to my competitor.
Yeah.
I think we are, because when I speak to the CEO of every other company, and we have a conversation, casual conversation, I see between the line that we think about the cigar far more than they do, up to the time we sell it.
Yeah.
We worry about every aspect of it, right? We analyze it. We sometimes go in our cellar, we pull different cigars, we cut them open, we go to leaf and leaf, and we measure the leaf color, we measure the leaf humidity, and we measure the leaf oil content. Nobody in the world does that. Nobody. We do it only one. That means we go literally, just one of the many things we do, we go literally take the cigar from the shelf, we open it up, and then we measure how much nicotine oil is left in the leaf and in the stem. Because if that dries up, the cigar has no taste.
And it's over. I mean,
the taste of the cigar doesn't come from the leaf mainly.
Yeah.
It comes from the actual nicotine oil in it when you burn it.
I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, the levels of steps and care it takes
in order to create a perfect cigar. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you guys have mastered that, honestly.
It took us a lot of time, but we come from the background that when you make electronic, you have to master the process, because if you don't master the process, your electronic don't work, right? And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. With the human, variation in the taste varies. Some people like it this way, some people like it that way. But with them smoking El Septimo, they get a good reference point. That for them, it becomes impossibly difficult to smoke any other cigar.
Now, in terms of legacy, where do you see El Septimo being in 50 years from now? How do you hope to be remembered?
You know, I always shoot my goal for tomorrow, not 5 years, 10 years, 50 years.
It's always about now.
Always is about the next minute, right? So because when you say my goal is to get there in 5 years,
Yeah.
guess what? You're gonna leave all your efforts for the last 6 months of the 5 years,
Yeah.
right? But when you leave it for the next minute, you know you have 60 seconds. And 60 seconds is not a lot of time. So you give it a rush, run like a hell and think like Einstein to create a product, right? But I think by next year, El Septimo will be considered the best cigar in the world.
And I look forward to seeing how far it grows and everything that is to be accomplished. Because, I mean, you've already accomplished so much, and I think that a lot of people, publications, cigar brands, influencers, a lot of people are lacking in this industry now. And I think that...
But we don't care about influence. I mean, we do care about every human being, but
Yeah.
we don't sway or we don't change our strategy what influencer or sommelier or
Yeah.
cigar expert
You do your own thing.
or the magazine people think about it. Because none of them have ever made a cigar to know what the perfect cigar is,
Yes.
right?
So what do they know?
And who knows, they have a better capability in tasting the notes in the mouth or in the nose, right?
Because a lot of the times, they always say, you know, a lot of times you look at, you know, the critic, right? Film is my passion. I love film. I love music and cigars. And so whenever there's someone to criticize a film or criticize a book or criticize music, you have to ask, what have you done or accomplished in order for your opinion to be validated? I mean, you can know everything you know about a movie and stuff like that.
But remember,
what
that's
gives
their
you
opinion. That's their opinion.
Of course, yeah.
A lot of time critics said this is a bad movie, and I found it an excellent movie, right? Because each person has a different requirement, right? And I hope, and I know you're going to start a publication, I hope you focus differently. I hope you do things differently, because all the other publication subscription is dropping like a crazy. When I go to Cigar Lounge, I see all kinds of magazines piled on top of each other, hundreds of them, right? Because people are getting smart. People in America are highly educated about cigars right now. They don't need to be told what to smoke and rating. Because sometimes when publication rates a bad cigar, the best cigar of the year, you become laugh stocking of the world. You become a joker of the world. People look at you and say, seriously? People aren't stupid. You can't take the bad cigar, give it to someone and say it's a great cigar. You can't do that. Because people know now much better than ever before. I see some young people that can taste a cigar. Sometimes we put certain spices in our cigar to qualify the guy who judge our cigar. And some young guys, 24, 25, picks it up instantly.
People that don't know any better.
And we
still
put
know.
it in a certain place in the cigar.
Yeah.
We don't put it in all the cigar. Like we put it 1 inch in or half an inch in or 2 inch in. And exactly when it gets to that 2 inch, oh my God, I just taste something. I say, what is it? I don't know what it is, but it's really interesting.
People
I
know.
say, log this guy's name and address. This needs to be our tester in the future because he caught it, right? And a lot of people that claim they're expert, they pass by it and they can't even recognize it.
I think because when you know it's good, you know. And a lot of times, like you say, you know, you feel it in your throat, you get dizzy. I mean, that's when people aren't really connecting to the consumer.
Or Robert, sometimes when you smoke a cigar, you just don't feel anything.
Yeah.
You just feel like a smoke in, smoke out. Like I get tremendous flavor from this in my mouth.
Right here too.
You know, you feel it in your mouth, you know, tremendous flavor.
I love this
You know,
one.
by the way, few other things about cigar that you don't know.
Yeah.
Nicotine, natural nicotine, increases your metabolism. So the digestive system, depending on your age and weight, could work 20 to 60% more during a period that nicotine is active in your bloodstream. And also nicotine, because of nutrition, because it is in tomato, the potato, eggplant, cauliflower, and because you eat those and your brain recognizes them as a nutrition, so often when you smoke cigar, it suppresses your appetite.
Yeah.
I love smoking cigar before dinner because I don't eat that big of a dinner.
You don't
I eat
eat
something
as
much
much.
smaller.
Yeah.
So cigar has a lot of good attributes that now your listeners know about it. See, those are the things you need to educate them.
Absolutely.
Not, I'm tasting wood, I'm tasting cashew, I'm tasting walnut,
More
almond.
facts and information.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, where did the almond come from here? I don't know, right?
Exactly. I totally agree with that. And I think, as you said, when you know a good cigar, you know. You can hand a cigar to someone who has absolutely no idea about cigars, but they can taste the quality.
Exactly.
You know? And I think when they're coughing and it's a lot of pain, they know, I don't like this. I don't want to have this again.
Well, your body's telling you, stop doing whatever you're doing because I don't like it, right? And then when you keep smoking it, right? When you keep smoking it, one day we were at the PCA show. So in the PCA show, we smoke all day long from morning to night. And we feel fine. I mean, I could smoke cigar, my record is 14 a day.
Wow.
14 a day. My wife too, she smoked one day with me for 14, in 18 hours we smoked 14 cigars, right? So all day we were smoking. At the end of the night, we went to this bar area, just to relax before we go sleep. A professional football player came to me, he said, Mr. Younan, I want you to try this cigar. And I said, listen, where is this cigar? I make this cigar. I said, okay, thank you. Give me one, I will try it later, I will tell you what I think. No, I want you to try it now. So, obviously, I didn't want to disrespect him. I cut it, I lit it. 5 minutes into it, I became nauseous. 7 minutes into it, my body starts sweating. My body starts sweating like I am in a sauna with my suit. I immediately looked at the guy next to me. I said, please take me to my room. I felt terrible for 2 days by puffing on that cigar for 5 minutes. Right? So, experienced smoker like me, my body rejected it. So when you smoke a cigar, your body rejects it, stop. That's the wrong cigar for you. Stop smoking it. Or you like to pay to be abused. If that's the case,
masochist.
Who cares? Smoke whatever you want,
Yeah.
right? Whatever flip your boat, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to listen to the reason and intelligence of experienced cigar maker, a scientist who's been in farming for 40 years, follow this basic step I told you, and you will enjoy your cigar far more than you have ever enjoyed your cigar.
And I would love to know more about your wine as well.
Well, absolutely. Our wine is made in Saint-Emilion Grand Cru, and that's the region that is managed by a government to make sure if you put the Grand Cru on your label, your wine is perfect in every category. So we make white wine, red wine in France, we ship it here. We make vodka, we make cognac, and in 3 months from now, we're gonna import our whiskey and gin into the United States.
That's fantastic. Well, I look forward to having a taste of that, hopefully.
Yeah.
That'll be fantastic. To close out, I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Sure.
Really quick. So let's see. So our viewers want to know, morning cigar or nightcap cigar, if you had to pick?
Morning.
Morning?
Morning, because that caffeine in the morning, man, it boosts me. If I drink too much coffee, I'd be a little bit jittery. When I smoke a cigar early in the morning, I am laser focused.
I agree. I'm a morning person too. Wine or espresso?
We got one tiny thread that just stuck out on there.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wine or espresso?
In the morning, espresso. At night, white wine. Because white wine is the best pairing for cigar. Is not the traditional cognac whiskey. That's the totally
Really?
wrong thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because whiskey and cognac, they have a high level of alcohol. When you drink it numbs your taste buds. Average human being has 6,000 to 8,000 taste buds on the mouth. So when you drink a high level of alcohol, like a whiskey or cognac or bourbon, your taste your taste buds get numb. When they get numb, you can't recall the notes very well. So when I drink alcohol, I try to drink it with the low alcohol level, like champagne or white wine. So white wine definitely.
Straight cut, V cut, or punch?
Good question. Very good question. Big mistake in the industry.
Yes.
First of all, I am totally opposite of V cut. Oppose a V-cut. V-cut is the most terrible thing to do. Why? Cigar is cylinder, right? When you draw, smoke comes in, it goes in a cylinder shape into the cigar. When you V-cut, then it has to conform himself like this, come in a tighted area. Then smokes rub on each other, the temperature goes up, we measure it by 5 to 7 degrees, which makes the smoke hotter and it kills some of the taste. So always round cut. So 60 gauge and below, cut, round cut. 60 gauge above, punch, round punch. No V cut.
Never. Maduro or Connecticut?
Depends. When you see a Maduro is not technically stronger than a Connecticut. We have Connecticut cigars that are much stronger than a Maduro wrapper cigar. Because some Connecticut could be stronger than Maduro, right?
Yeah.
So I like to smoke usually in the morning more Connecticut, toward the night more Maduro.
Absolutely.
But to me, Maduro and Connecticut are 50-50. I love them both, right? I smoke them both. But typically, the Maduro has more flavor notes in it. Why? Because it's Maduro, means it's darker. Maduro means dark brown, darker. It has been fermented longer time. So the leaf is really skinny, is very elastic, and it holds the moisture in it very long.
Lounge or private terrace?
I like lounge because I'm people person. I love going to lounge, talking to people, looking at people, smoking with them.
Good socializing.
Absolutely. So I love lounge.
Yeah.
People should go to lounge. I prefer lounge over restaurant or a bar, to be honest with you. And I love the fact America has so much lounge. I think actually they don't have enough lounge. Today in America, we have close to 5,000 to 6,000 lounges. I think America could have easily 25,000, 30,000 lounges and still won't be enough to service the growing demand of cigar smokers.
If El Septimo was a song, what would it be and why?
There are 4 songs about El Septimo.
Really?
Absolutely. Written. The very first song was written by this famous Cuban jazz singer, who one day was brought here by a friend of him, doctor. So he smoked for the first time. For the first time he smoked non-Cuban cigar, and he loved it. And after 6 months, he called me and he said, I have a gift for you. And go to the music thing, what do they call it? YouTube, what do they call it? Google El Septimo song. And it came out. People should download it. It's an amazing song. If you listen to that song, it tells you why you should be smoking El Septimo.
I would love to hear it. Celebrity you would love to see smoking El Septimo?
I actually, a lot of celebrities smoke cigars. A lot of celebrities smoke cigars, you know. One of my close friends, Steve Harvey, one day I had a call from a lounge in Atlanta. So I said, Jesus Christ, what is this lounge owner wants? I'm busy guys, I'm running a $7 billion organization. And I keep ignoring him, he kept calling me. And then he FaceTimed me. I said, there must be emergency, I better take this call. And I texted him, I said, Shafiq, what do you want? He said, Zaya, I want you to say hello to a guy who loves El Septimo. And he points the phone on him, it's Steve Harvey.
Wow.
And Steve Harvey says, brother, I want to tell you something. This is the best cigar I ever smoked in my life, which he was smoking El Septimo Double Shot, one of the most powerful cigars in the world for taste. And so him and I always smoke cigars, El Septimo cigars. We get together, we smoke El Septimo cigars. But he smokes El Septimo cigars. Jamie Foxx smoked El Septimo cigars. Cedric Gaetano smoked El Septimo cigars. A lot of athletes smoke El cigar. Once you smoke El Septimo truly, it is difficult for you to smoke any other cigar.
That's fantastic. Money, power, or legacy?
Legacy. 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 You sacrifice money and power to build legacy. You don't sacrifice legacy to build money. How much money do you need? I mean, some people have billions and billions. What the hell are you going to do with it, right? Legacy is the most important thing. That was a good question.
Absolutely. I agree. Smoke before the deal or after the deal?
Good question.
Yeah.
Smoke before the deal and during a deal. Then you will have a great after deal. Your deal will be done exactly the way you want it. You know? And you'll be surprised. Most of the times, when I have a difficult deal or negotiation in something, I light a cigar. And if the guy is not, if he wants to smoke cigar, that's great. If he doesn't smoke a cigar, I says, you should smoke a cigar because I'm smoking one. And after we both smoke a cigar, the deal gets done shortly after.
Now, final rapid fire question. One word that best defines El Septimo.
Perfection.
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 Okay. Absolutely.
Thank you
Well,
so
that is
much,
it.
Robert.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for our interview with Zaya Younan, and stay tuned for the next one. Take care.